Now, a stage that I have felt, and I would imagine that everyone else who's looking at this channel can also agree, is the stage of depression. Now, for me, it hasn't been just a solid stage where you're depressed and you're depressed for months and it's just darkness all the time, because that's not who I am. But I think it's more of a situational depression, and I think that the whole stages of grief, where it's anger and it's bargaining and depression and acceptance, it's not a stage where you go through it once and then you never have to go through it again. Especially with people with chronic illness, it's a continuous effort, because you're going to go through stages of anger and you're going to go through stages of depression, and you're going to say, well, if I take this magical pill, you'll feel better. And then you always have to come back to acceptance. This is how it is. Sorry, I live near the train tracks and they're killing me right now. But depression is a big one. And it's different for everyone, I think. And especially for me, it happens on the bad days where you're tired and you're exhausted and you've been pre-syncopal all day. And for me, heat's a big thing, so I could be overheating all day long. I feel sick, I feel nauseous, I can't eat, I can't walk far. I'm tired, so tired. And especially for me, I get tired of fighting. I get tired of fighting with people. I get tired of fighting with my own body. I get tired of fighting with the weather. At some point, you're just tired. And so for me, that depression stage comes with the bad days. And it's natural. But again, you can't stay there. But for me, I would describe it as I'm just tired. I'm tired of fighting with this. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of being tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it usually gets bad when I'm thinking, this is what I have to look forward to. I'm 22 and I have years and years and years of looking forward to pain and looking forward to fatigue and looking forward to feeling bad and having to fight to stay conscious and fight to keep your job and fight to do your job and fight the brain fog that comes with NCS and you're angry because you have to do it, and yet you can't go back. You have now and you have the future, so you're just thinking, this is what I have to look forward to. And especially, information is a good thing, but you also have to limit how much information and how much research you do at any one time. Because when I research, a lot of times you can go down that rabbit hole, because you start with this and then you move to this and you move to that, and you go from one horror story to the next, where this person's on disability and this person passes out 10 times a day and this person has lost relationships over it, and so you start to imprint on those other people. That's going to be me. I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have kids. I'm never going to have a job that I like, that I enjoy. And so you start to think of all of the bad things, all of the worst case scenarios, and you spiral down. And so I think it's a natural part of being chronically ill. Sometimes you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And something that helps me is to kind of know what causes that depression and attempt to avoid it if you can. So don't, if you're already feeling bad, if you're already feeling presyncopal, don't go on the internet and look at blogs about people being depressed and don't go looking for trouble. You already have enough on your plate. You already feel sick enough without looking for trouble and saying, that's me, this is gonna be me, because it may not be you. Because with this illness, it's a lot of times it's personalized. You may have this trigger, someone might be triggered by pain, someone might be triggered by heat, someone might be triggered by hunger. Everyone's different, and especially with NCS and POTS, a lot of times it comes with other things. You have Ehlers-Danlos, you have a back injury, you have something else with it. For me, as far as I know, it's hypothyroidism and NCS. So everyone is different. They have their own health issues on top of the NCS. And there's so many factors that go into severity. If you live in Texas, where it's hot and heat is a factor, you're going to be worse off than if you lived in Montana. If you already have issues with another illness on top of the NCS, that's going to cause issues. That's going to make you worse than someone who just has hypothyroidism and NCS. So you have to realize they are not you. And you have to make that decision that they are not you. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy if you say, that's going to be me. I'm not going to be able to work. I'm not going to be able to do this. As soon as you say, I cannot do this, you can't. I thought in the beginning, I'm never going to be able to go to the beach. I'm never going to be able to walk a long distance. I'm never going to be able to be successful. And at some point I decided, no. True, there are some things that I cannot do because it's bad for my health. However, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You just have to figure out how to modify it in a way that you can handle. And you have to decide, no, I'm not going to sit back and take this. So there is a lot that you cannot control about NCS and about chronic illness. But there are some things you can control. And that's making the choice to not sit down and take it. To do everything you can to be the healthiest person you can be. And also accepting the fact that you're not Superman. You're not Superwoman. You're not super whatever your gender is, whatever you identify with, you're human. And part of having chronic illness is realizing that you are not infallible. You're not a superhero. You have your own human weaknesses, and you have to accept the fact that you can't do everything. And you are much more happier if you accept the fact that you can do what you can on your good days, and you forgive yourself on your not so good days. If you don't get the laundry done on a bad day, it's not the end of the world. So, as far as depression goes, it's natural, and you're gonna go through it. But you have to remember that there are people out there who care, who can help you. You have to ask for help when you need it. If you're tired and you are feeling presyncopal and you feel like you can't stand to cook, say, hey, I'm having a bad day. Could you cook me something? Or, hey, I'm pretty tired. Can you go pick up my son? Or whatever it may be, ask for help when you need it. Because then that way you're not so strung out. Because the more strung out you are and the harder you push yourself, the more tired you feel, the sicker you feel, the worse you feel. And a lot of times when you're feeling your worst is when that depression's gonna come and get you. So don't go look for trouble. Ask for help when you need it. Realize that not everything is in your control. Accept the fact that there are some stuff you can control. So that's been my experience with depression. And if you guys have any specific questions as to what I do on my bad days or my specific feelings on my bad days, feel free to comment. Ask me personally, and I will give you my most true answer. So that has been my experience with depression.